Hi guys, it's your girl Lishajoya. Thank you for coming to this YouTube video. Um, I haven't live streamed in a little while. The last live stream was a very short one about my car being towed because of the problems that my car was having. And well, a $3,000 loan later, uh, my car let's just say it was a very challenging month, needing to get rides from people for the past 3 to 4 weeks. I'm not the most type of person that likes to depend on people or ask for help or anything like that. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, and yeah, I don't like to ask for help. I'm not that I'm prideful. I just like to have my independence, like doing things on my own. I need to blend this out. Blend this out with my finger. I'll blend this out later before I go to work. Anyway, yeah, that's bothering me. Anyways, um, so it's been a freaking challenging month, and um, having to get rides when you live in the country and to get to work, get home. My own husband couldn't even get to work, and he drives for a living. So I was the only one working during this time, and I had a rental car through Enterprise, and it was great at first. And then I returned the car back, and then I went to go re-rent the car, and they were out of cars, and they never contacted me back. So I contacted them. I had to go to a meeting for work, and I couldn't even make it to the meeting. No one could give me a ride because everybody else was at the meeting, of course. And you know, I was going to get written up for not going to a meeting that I could not find a ride for. When I originally had a rent-a-car that I could have rented, but they didn't have no cars available. And still now, they didn't even contact me back a week later, saying, no, we don't have any cars for you. We'll contact you back. They never contacted me back. So, too bad this is only one rental car place here in town. I live in a small town. Like, everything's so small. Hello, Bryson. So, yeah, I just having to get rides and rent a car and having the rent a car fall through the second time I've rented it, and then getting the diagnostic that my car was going to cost $3,000. Sorry, one of my cats are trying to jump on me. Was going to cost me $3,000 for a brand new AVS actuator, which is controls the whole control the car. The actuator also controls the brakes and how they run. They even stroke of your um, the way that all your functions work in your car. Excuse me, I got a teddy so go that way. One of my cats, Chorizo, is trying to get on me, and his claws are sharp. Anyway, so I've had to get rides from people. I've had to ask for help, and I don't like doing that normally. I really just like to be my own little independent woman, so to speak. But I had to humble myself, and I had to ask for help, and I had to get help and use my connections, and it really showed me who was going to be there for me and who was not going to be there for me. Or who couldn't be there for me but wanted to but just couldn't because they had other obligations. Hello, the Adam. If I said your name wrong, I'm so sorry. Anyways, so having to, like I said, get rides, and then we ran out of food in the house, so I had to figure out how I was going to get groceries to the house. So we learned all about Walmart Plus. And then my husband and I, we figured out how to transfer money back and forth to each other. Hello, Julieta, as well. Um, so we figured out how to transfer money through our banks together, so I don't have to go 60 miles to my bank. If you guys don't know, again, I live in the country. When I came from the city is not available here in the country, of course. I have to go to Timbuktu to be able to do my normal banking. And it's very difficult, very frustrating and difficult sometimes, especially when you have to deposit a check. So I had to figure out how to go about it without having to go to my bank every 2 weeks and 60 miles just to get one way, 60 miles one way to get to my bank. So me and my husband, during this time period, we figured out a way to transfer money back and forth to each other. But in the meantime, I had to drop something in order to be able to financially survive. And I do feel bad that I've had to do this, but um, I had to drop the Papillon Library website for a while. I mean, I paid for the name, the domain name, but not the actual hosting of it. And unfortunately, that had to go for a while. And it wasn't until yesterday the Papillon Library is finally back. But unfortunately, I was paying for the yearly one, which is a lot cheaper per month to run that site. But just to keep it going, I've had to pay the monthly, which is $46. So instead of paying like $29, I'm paying almost double that just to make the Papillon Library site going, just so I can get over this hump. Well, with that $3,000 loan that we had to use to get the car, because it wasn't just my ABS actuator, because that was a $2,000 part in itself. It was my front and back rotors. It was no, sorry, my apology. It was the back rotors, front and back, the front and back brake pumps, and it was the back brakes themselves. Actually, no, it's all the brakes, all the whole things. So I pretty much got a brand new car, kind of. So Mystere says say 67. Hello, say 67. I said 67 for you. Anyways, and yes, tariffs. Yes, thank you, tariffs. um so with that being said, I'm paying $250 one week. My husband's paying $250 the next week. So the loan won't give us any interest. The loan won't give us any interest after December 26th if we pay it off. And they're trying to get us to pay $127 a week. I'm like, no, I don't want no interest. That's a high interest yield. And I'm one that likes to save money. I don't like to spend money if I don't have to. Okay? I really don't like to spend any kind of money. You can say I'm kind of cheap, but I'm not cheap. You know what I'm saying? I don't pass a good deal, but I also don't like to spend more than I have to either. So, so that brought me to all these different problems, brought different solutions I would not normally would have had. I've had to ask for help, which I absolutely hated, having to depend on people for rides. But if I were to walk to my job, it is 7 miles in the country. Country. I'm talking about there's no McDonald's you can go and hang out and sit and get a drink of water if you're tired. There's no gas station. It's all country. Everything's like fields of corn and horses and pigs and all that stuff. That's that kind of country where I live at, okay? The land that I currently live on is technically farmland. That's why I have no limit on how many animals I can have on my property, because I live in a very unique place here in this state where it's farmland and slash residential, but the residential can have animals. So I have a very unique land. So all these problems gave out new solutions. which things I wouldn't have thought of. And believe me, I was so full of anxiety the whole time. I could not sleep. I could not eat. I kept throwing up. I mean, my anxiety was like through the roof. I couldn't even concentrate, even at work. It was so bad. It was so bad. So bad. I don't wish this level of anxiety on my worst enemy, okay? I mean, it was just like I was grouchy. I was like depressed. I cried every night. I didn't have the car. I cried and was so depressed. And then I kept pressuring my poor husband. Have you got a phone call from the mechanic? Have you got the phone call from the mechanic? And, hello. I got a visitor. Um, and so I kept asking him and harassing him every day, sometimes even 2 or 3 times a day. Have you got a phone call from the mechanic? Have you got the phone call from the mechanic? You know, of course, I broke out. My face broke out because of the stress. You know, um, so waking up in the middle of the night with panic attack in the middle of the night from a dead sleep. Oh my God, that was horrible too. But during this time period, little miracles happened. Like I was able to get scheduled to work with somebody that was able to give me a ride, there and back to my job. I wasn't able to go to the grocery store, you know what I mean, and buy groceries. Like I said, I had to work and figure out that I could do Walmart Plus, and get my stuff delivered here, which was a miracle that because we were out of cat food, we were out of coffee, we were out of sugar, we were out of, bread, we were out of the essentials. And normally my husband gets mad at me when I buy too much of anything, when I buy too much stuff. But this time he was so appreciative we actually had my stash because we wouldn't have eaten for these past 2 or 3 weeks before I got Walmart Plus. So now he can't nag at me or get mad at me when I overstock at the store. Ha ha. So I figured out a work around that. So I have to restart my prep for the winter. If you guys don't know, when you live in the country, winters can be kind of brutal. You get power outages because trees. We have a ton of trees here. Okay, if you guys live in the city, you guys don't have trees right by your power lines. Here where I live at, there's trees everywhere. I live in technically a forest, so um, so I have to go re-prep for winter and get my stuff ready for back for winter. I have part of it, but I don't have like a lot of the food stuff because I kind of ate it. So this was also a learning curve to see how much food we eat in the 2 or 3 week time period. And so now I know I got to stock more to be able to last. Now I've learned from this problem with the car. I know, crazy, right? So now the husband can't nag at me anymore when I overstock. So the other thing during this time period, another thing, an epiphany happened. Realized that I've been wanting to change the direction of this channel for a couple of years, and I had no idea how I was going to go about it. And instead of changing the direction of this channel, because it's random, you know what I mean? This channel is random. There's like a whole, you don't never know what you're going to get. You're going to pop up, I'm going to be doing a live stream. Next minute, I'm doing a cooking show. You know what I mean? So I kind of want to do something a little bit more streamlined. So I am working on not one, but 2 new channels. Getting their banners, their artwork stuff laid out. One is going to be talking about my cooking. I'm going to be cooking for you guys, giving you guys recipes and stuff. And another's going to be reviewing of recipes. So I'm just working on channel names. I'm working on ideas. Um, I got greatly inspired from the thrift store because I buy cookbooks from the thrift store. I don't like paying more for cookbooks than I have to, unless it's a cookbook I absolutely been wanting. So I'm just gonna try to do 2 new channels. Hold on, I got a mango. Mango to say hi. Hi, mango. Hey, everybody, say mangoes. Anyways, I still run my rescue, and most of these guys, I'll become their permanent home because I don't let none of my rescues not have a home. You know, see right, mango. I'm one of them. And his brother's with me too. He was abandoned too. So was Teresa. This guy was abandoned, and so was this one. All 4 of these were abandoned kitties. But I digress. So I want to have 2 more channels at least. And I'm working on the names. I'm working on a theme. I'm working on a way to go about it. Because I've got ideas. But like I said, that's just like the redirection of the channel. But at the same time, I wanted to do a third one, a third channel. I haven't decided what that is. But I wanted to migrate my old YouTube videos of all my recipes to the recipe channel. But at the same time, I have views on there. I have my tags. I have all that stuff. I have the description. And I know I have um, the work I put into it and the age that I put onto it. I just didn't want to destroy it. So all my newer stuff will be on the newer channel. And when I finally decide of the names of these channels, I'll let you guys know what that is. But, you know, it is what it is. So about this whole month, I mean, it came with so many challenges and full of anxiety and me crying all the time. And then having to sacrifice the Papillon library site for Second Life. If you guys don't know this game called Second Life, it's like 3D Avatar. Um, and you could like create things, you could buy things, you could sell things, um, you can dance, go in clubs and have fun, all that stuff, and create all that fun stuff. And a potato. And potatoes. That too. You can even farm, like Farmville, even in Second Life, and get those potatoes. Um, and I just wanted to. I had sacrificed the Papillon library, which is a Papillon breedable, which is like breedable bugs, flowers, plants, stuff like that, like a full ecosystem, which I'm a big fan of, by the way, very big fan. And so I created a site, but I had to take mine down to be able to survive the past 3 to 4 weeks. And now I have it back. But now I'm paying more for it by the month than I would have if it was a yearly. And I've had some people ask me if they can give me money to help pay for that site. And I always turn it down because it's usually my gift to the community. It's not like I'm doing it to get recognition or anything like that. I'm doing it because it's a catalog of things. You know what I mean? In like tips and know-how and like helping guide. The site is a helping guide. But I did feel bad about leaving it, taking it down for 3 or 4 weeks. I just had to. I needed that extra money to survive. I mean, we're now paying $3,000 in a loan just to fix my car. Okay, and you probably would have asked, well, then why are you doing this? You could have bought yourself a new car with that money. Well, I am the original owner of the car. I paid it off. I bought it with 2 miles on it, and I'm the one that put the 2 miles on it. So it's a paid off car. Why would I want to put more money into a car I've got to pay off anyway? Then plus have to fix the car. It makes no sense. So that's all I gotta say for now. I have to get ready for work. Also, my schedule's changing at work too. One of my coworkers is quitting, so I won't be closing anymore. So I'll be opening most of the days, and then I'll be mid-shift one day of the week. So it's gonna work out, you know. And I don't want to close anymore anyway, because it's exhausting. If we have to clean a fryer, we have to clean our thermalizer, we have to do all this deep cleaning stuff, overstocking, make sure the store is clean, the line, both sides of the line are clean, de-iced, uh, shining. It's just exhausting. And we have to get it done in a short period of time. It's exhausting. And so I'm getting a very welcome, very needed break from closing. And guess what? Normally on Wednesday, like the eve of Thanksgiving, I normally have to work, and I have to work an extra hour. Well, if I'm not closing no more, even if I work on Wednesday, I won't have to work the extra hour. And I can stay home and cook Thanksgiving dinner for me and my husband and the cats without, getting in trouble for closing an hour early like I did last year. All right, guys, thank you for coming to the stream. I have 10 minutes to get my fanny ready for work and get into my uniform. Put this very long hair into a bun, somehow make it work. And then I gotta blend this mistake out. I blended it already on this side, but this side, ooh, I need to blend her out a little more. All right, see you guys in the next stream, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and thank you guys for being with me for 22 plus minutes on the stream. See you guys later. Have a good day. Doopy doopy.